Brother is gnarly.
Yes,
yeah,
brother's gnarly.
Right. Really break this down.
Yeah.
But when you see a track like that, Eli, and I didn't talk to you, but I talked to a lot of guys, and they're just like, dude, this is treacherous. This is hard. This is death cross. This is going to get me, blah, blah. Yeah. What are you like? Are you like the same way where you're like, oh my God, this track?
Yeah, it was just very busy. It was the busiest track we've had to date, I feel like. I mean, for this season, and the busiest track that we've had in a long time that I can remember. You know, when you have the whoop section, the Dragon to whoop again, even that alone was the gnarliest thing I've seen in a long time. With that being said, it was cool because you could make up tons of time, you know, with a track like that. And, you know, the more I think about it, it was nice to have something different and very technical. After the race and kind of during the race day, or right after the race, I was kind of negative on it, you know, because it was built a little bit steeper and a little bit different. But to be honest, I was good to see not that many people go down. I feel like I don't know. I thought people were going to be getting hauled off on the meat wagon all day. To be straight up with you guys, walking the track and in practice, but you know, I think we fared it fairly well, and it was just. It was gnarly. The only thing I really didn't like was the rhythm before the finish line. There was that one pocket when we would go the triple on and then off. Yeah. That one was really steep, and like we were dragging pegs in all day. I'm like, why don't you guys just fix that? And that never really changed. But other than that, it was a very technical track and something we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah. So you're in the group where you're like, oh shit, okay, all right, yeah.
Even the second straightaway or the long rhythm section against the wall there. Yeah, that thing, that rhythm section was the steepest rhythm that I've raced in. Period. I feel like so. Wow. Just something different to see. Yeah.
I was talking to your dad after the race, and I could not figure out, Eli, why you went 2 in all the time. I know you guys watched the film, and so when you started doing 2 in, I'm like, well, that must be faster. But then everyone else is going 3 in, and I'm like, wait, is he watching different film? So I started timing it, and I got my fat thumbs, and I may be off, but I'm like, no, I think the 3 in is a little quicker. But what is he doing? And then, so your dad was like, nope. Your dad was like, he can do 2 in every time for half an hour, and he can focus on that. And so it made sense, but I couldn't figure it out.
So this is funny. So I ride press day, right? Yep. And of course we timed it. And actually on press day, from what we got timed, that was a faster line, the 2 in. Okay. All the way to the triple, okay? Yep. And then so race day, it flips, but it's like, I think it was around 3/10. And we were going from basically the turn, or even the start of the landing of just the little double before that to the triple ramp. And I think it was like 3/10. But anyway, I felt like I had more of a chance of missing the rhythm section by going 3 in. When I did try it once or twice, I just felt like there was more risk to it, and I would potentially lose more time by missing it or make a bigger mistake. So that's why I just stuck with the double in, triple. Yeah. Even though I did miss it once,
And then at some point, you were doing the triple across where the pole was, which was fast, but then that went away because that was good, but then you stopped doing it. I think everybody did because it probably just got too beat up. And it was just because you're such a great rider. I'm like, what am I not seeing here by this dude doubling in? Like, what am I missing? Because but your dad was saying like he doesn't even need to worry about it. He can just do it. And I'm like,
that was the whole reason for it. Was just I know I can do it every single time. Yeah. Does it get just the conservative act? Yeah.
But does it get tempting though? Because Sexton's just pulling away a little bit. How did you decide I'm going to stick with this and not be like, okay, I got to start taking some risk here?
Well, in my mind, I was just going to stay in that pace in that zone, other than the whoops. So I started skimming the whoops at the beginning of the race, and I was fairly close to Chase. And then I went to jumping, and then I was not making up any time in the whoops. Right, once I started jumping the first long set, and then he really started pulling away. So then I started going back to the skim, and I don't know if I actually made any time up. I don't think I even did, but and that's what I was doing until that point. and then, I don't know. I was just doing my laps because I knew that track was such a technical track where you could make a mistake. I was almost not counting on it, but I just was like, all right, I'm just going to stay inside of this comfort zone, and if I finish second, I finish second at this point.
It's like the definition of you're just going to ride your own race. You had already decided.
Yeah, correct.
Yep. That's pretty cool.
And it worked. And it worked out. Yeah.
With that being said, though, I made two big mistakes. It would be the start line turn.
Yeah.
So we would do the wall jump, the left. The thing I went flying off the track on is there was a big rut up that ramp, and then because everyone was going roll on that, we actually got down to the plywood for that next small double. And I almost crashed. It was a couple laps before that last lap. And then on the last lap, what happened, I went over that roller, and then my front end hit the plywood and then did that massive twitch, right?
Yeah.
And that's what spit me off the side. So those were the things that I was expecting to happen during that race.
Yeah, and so you could see Webb was closing. I don't know if there's no way you didn't know he was doing that over the table, right? Or did you kind of?
I didn't know that, and I don't know if I ever got that on the board. I probably only looked at my board like 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Just trying to stay focused, but I did not know that he was doing that line. No.
How hard was the double, by the way, after when you went over that table? It was weird to see you guys doubling through that rhythm leading to the finish. The triple must have been so hard.
It was painful, but I've never struggled with a triple so much in my entire life, all day in that thing. And I overshot it probably 2 or 3 times, and then I cased the crap out of it because I drug my pegs up the ramp. So I was just like, you know what, I'm out. I'm going to go double on off. And I think it was actually the same speed because of just going low on the ground versus, popping up in the air with the triple quad. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I as a guy who's sitting in the press box that has no chance of getting hurt, I love rhythms that guys do big gnarly things in. And that quad at the end was slow. AC was telling me it was too slow. You're up in the air too long. But I like seeing 3-4 elite guys do that. I love that the racecraft within one lane like that. Eli, really fascinates me. I love to see you guys all try to figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, you're right about that, though. With that being said, with it being a little bit steep and sketchy, I'd say for that dirt, there was a ton of combinations that went into play. There was literally 3 different ways you could go down that lane, right?
Right. Yep.
Or maybe even 4 if you went inside on the 90 after the whoops and just went roll over, and then you would have gotten to that combo that Cooper was doing.
Yeah.
But
which Sexton or not Sexton, Webb told me you were doing that. You were rolling on the inside.
So this is that was going to be like my bailout line.
Okay.
For the night show if I needed it because I was struggling so bad during the day with the 3 on off triple.
Yeah.
With that triple. Yeah. Yep.
Dino told me in a post race interview that on the parade lap he rolled around with the whoops, and he said on the post race, he's like, I rolled around and I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to do with these? What do you want me to do with these? Like, Dean was just, I don't know how I'm gonna do this main event, and this is on the parade lap.
Hey,
so yeah.
And the dragon back. Talk about that thing. That thing was a curb at the top. Yeah.
Yeah. It was It's crazy to, it's just one random round in a round of 17, and you throw something at this, and when you guys like you and guys like Cooper and guys like Dino are telling me how gnarly it is, I just shake my head because I just think even the simplest tracks are gnarly, for me or for the average guy.
I know it was gnarly, but at the same time, it was like there was a lot of time to be made, or time to be lost. So it was pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Eli, you raced a couple years with the 20-lap format, and then they switched to 20 minutes. Did you do 2 or 3 years the old way? Right.
Yeah, I did. Yep.
If you can remember back that far, the tracks have to be way more hammered now, right? I would imagine.
They are. Yep.
What's weird
They're
is
for sure more deteriorated. Yep.
So what I'm getting at is when that changed, the natural thing would be like the racing's probably going to be less close now because there's 5 more minutes for dudes to pull away from each other. But honestly, I think it's gone the other way because you guys have to manage and almost survive, and it's not just everybody sends it as long as they can. It's pedal to the metal, and we go to the check. Do you almost feel that the racing has gotten more strategic with the longer race?
Yes. Yeah. I'd say so. Especially, more often than not, because now on a normal weekend we're doing 26 to 28 laps. So yeah, it's hard just to go wide open the whole time. There's definitely some thinking going on, on when to really send it, when not to, when to take it easy, when to sprint. Yep.
I've noticed you're a little bit more in California, Eli, this year. Is it a weather thing, or what? Are you learning from A-Ray, or like what is? Are you in California? Is this more testing stuff, or what is it?